This episode was brought to you by Manscaped.
Initiating moisture.
Welcome to the Moist Meter. Today we're taking a look at Ghost of Tsushima, a game that I was highly anticipating this year, and I'm happy to say this bad boy did not disappoint. So let's just dive right in. I want to say how beautiful this game is. I have a real soft spot for this time period in pretty much any media set during like the samurai era and shit like that, and this game is one of the best I've seen. It is absolutely stunning. And the game knows it's gorgeous too. It even gives you a camera feature where you can take pictures of yourself in the game world and just doing all kinds of shit because it knows that it is absolutely beautiful and you're going to want those pictures. It's almost like those guys that date those Instagram supermodels and they take pictures of their girlfriends to post online just so that way people know that look how hot this girl is. That's what this is to this game. You take these pictures of the game so people know how fucking great and gorgeous the game looks. It really is just super stunning in every single department. Every cutscene is wonderful. Fucking sweat mechanics in the game. You can see a lot of emotion going over characters' faces during dialogue, during intense scenes. It is an absolutely incredible looking game. And it's just an absolute joy to experience. Every single death in the game has blood, guts, and ass flying all over the place. It's fucking incredible. So now let's go into the combat, because I think the combat and the gameplay are what people are most curious about, and comparing it to things like Sekiro and shit like that. I don't think it's super similar to games like Sekiro or Nioh, other games set in this time period. And after spending about 25-26 hours with the game, I can confidently say it's not really that similar to Sekiro or Nioh or pretty much any other game except maybe Assassin's Creed when it comes to its open world and certain elements of its combat. But really it has its own unique identity. The game has multiple stances for you to play with, and each one play to a different strength against a different kind of enemy. There's water stance, which is good against shields, wind stance good against spears, then you have stone stance, moon stance. Each one plays to a different strength against a different enemy type, and with that you also have some other tools where you can throw a kunai, a smoke bomb, an explosive, throw a wind chime to distract enemies, get them away from you. You just have all of these things at your disposal. Fucking throw a pile of dog shit or something. You just have a lot of different options of approaching a fight, and I really like that. Now, I consider myself a master of the blade as well. As most of you know, I own a fleshlight katana, which is a Damascus steel katana with a fleshlight hilt, and it is a wonderful creation. So with this game's combat, I was pretty familiar with a lot of the sword techniques present in the game, so I felt as though I was almost right at home with my training as an actual studier of the blade, and that was lovely. Every single move is so fucking flashy. All of them are so nice. There's tons of different ways of experimenting with mixing and matching stances. Since everything's on the fly, you can constantly interchange things to approach different things different ways, and I just really enjoyed the combat. It flowed really well together. I played on the hardest difficulty, and I didn't really think the game was all that challenging, but I don't think it needs to be either, because the game's all about just making you feel like this badass fucking samurai who's just claiming scalps left and right, ripping assholes in half and just going absolutely wild, throwing honor to the side and just saying, you know what, it's time to get fucking brutal. And this game really lets you do that. You mow through thousands of enemies in this game, and all the time, the entire time, is enjoyable. It's always fun. The combat never gets old. Now, branching off of the combat, there is stealth. Not everything is full nuts to butts action. There's stealth options as well. And I don't have any problem with the stealth. The stealth is functionable. It's serviceable. It's not the best, because I think the AI is too fucking stupid, even on the highest difficulty, to figure out how to even play against stealth. Because you can actually just assassinate someone right in front of their friend and they won't even be alerted to you. You can assassinate 2 people right in front of 3 people, and those 3 people won't even notice those 2 people are dead. They don't even recognize a dead body on the ground. They will literally trample over a dead body without being alerted, or, hey, something's wrong here. How long has this dead body been here? I was just talking to this guy. Wait, what the fuck? That's fine. Probably just the wind. The AI, when it comes to stealth, is absolutely fucking stupid. The stupidest shit in the world. You could hit them with an arrow, and they still wouldn't be alerted that there's an enemy nearby. So the stealth, I think, actually puts the game in easy mode, because you can approach everything with stealth and just be totally fine and have no problem at all. But it takes a lot of the fun out of the game. I'm not even exaggerating. You can actually just be staring at an enemy as they stare back at you in some kind of romantic exchange, and they won't recognize that you are there. You can do pretty much anything in this game through stealth and have no problems at all or any struggle, because it is just that easy to stealth through this game. So I didn't do a whole lot of stealth, only when it was absolutely necessary, and that's a big complaint I have. A lot of the missions have a lot of hand-holding where you have to play the mission the way they want you to play the mission. If it encourages you to be stealthy, you have to be stealthy if you're seeing it auto ends. If it wants you to go through a certain path, you have to go that path and can't find your own way there, or else it auto-ends. You have to stay in this very tight tail area, where if you branch off, you have like 10 seconds to get back before it auto-ends. I don't like that. I don't like taking that freedom of choice away from the player to approach things how they want to approach them. So that was a bit of a complaint for me. And another thing that kind of branches off of that, quite a few of the missions were super repetitive and shitty. There's fucking trailing missions in this game. It should be illegal to have trailing missions in a video game. Trailing mission is when you have to slowly follow an NPC as they just very mindlessly and slowly walk their way from point A to point B, making stops along the way to jerk off or, have a picnic or whatever. You just have to sit there and wait and wait. Half the time they're not even talking, there's just nothing going on, you're just trailing them, and it's so fucking boring. And there is a lot of those missions. There is a fucking ton of those. It was too many, way too many trailing missions in this game. They're just genuinely not fun. And there were a lot of repetitive missions. For example, for a set of legendary armor, you had to visit 6 farms across this game world that were really far apart, so it was a long fucking ride there. You could fast travel to make it a little bit quicker, but you still didn't get that close. And then at each farm, you had to save 3 people, fight through X number of enemies, and you get a key. It was the same mission repeated 6 times, and it took like an hour and a half going at like the fastest fucking speed you could possibly go. It just feels like a lot of it was there for padding, and I didn't really enjoy some of those missions, especially the trailing ones. Now, this brings me to the writing. The writing in this game, I think, is absolutely great. I think it is absolutely a wonderful story where even the side quests feel really impactful to Jin's development and the characters in the game world as a whole. The side quests, I felt, were fucking great. Not all of them had a really satisfying conclusion at the end of their plot line, but most of them did, and it was a lot of fun to experience the story, the individual story of some characters that you come to know and love. I really enjoyed a lot of the side quests, even off like the main characters' side quests, the legendary armor and skill set pieces, those side quests also were great. They gave you a bunch of lore, like historical lore about these figures in history and what they used, and then it's all about finding those items. So you're learning about these characters and you're exploring these unique areas, sometimes leading to a boss battle, sometimes just learning more about this shit. And I just found it really fun. Everything I felt was written with so much care and passion, and all the characters I thought were really well-rounded, nice characters. There wasn't a character I felt that was just outright shitty or not developed. Your core cast of characters all kind of just keep evolving, and you start really caring for them by the end of the game. It was a really nice story with an absolutely beautiful conclusion, perhaps one of my favorite in recent memory. This game wraps itself up so nicely, and I just loved everything about Acts 2 and 3 going towards the end of the game. I loved its narrative, I loved the way it told the story, every set piece it had you experience as the leaves fall down during a climactic battle. It's just wonderful. Truly fucking wonderful. This game's score is also great. The music is great. I didn't think it was like the biggest standout. I loved this kind of music and I thought it was really good, but it wasn't something like a masterpiece, but it was very good. Worth pointing out. Now, I want to get to my biggest complaint about this game, and the biggest complaint anyone will ever have about Ghost of Tsushima: the camera. My god, the camera is atrocious. It is absolutely fucking abhorrent. The camera is like battling a demon in and of itself. It is fucking terrible. This game tried to like reinvent the wheel when it comes to combat. There's no lock on to enemies. Instead, you have to directionally input Jin towards the direction you want to attack with the people on it. So it has this pseudo auto lock on feature that it thinks it knows where you want to go, but it doesn't always get it right, and the camera can't always follow. If you have a fight indoors, you might as well just turn off your PlayStation at that point. If you're fighting indoors, just fucking pull the power cord, because it's going to be a headache and you're going to just die. The camera cannot fucking work half the time. It has a mind of its own, and it is terrible. The camera often will betray you, and it really fucking sucks, because all it needed to do was just follow the same thing that most games have done for a long time for good reason, which is, in an action game like this, give you the player a way to lock onto a character so you can choose where you want to go instead of having the game guess where you want to go. It led to so many frustrating encounters when there are multiple enemies on the screen. The camera itself got fucking confused and didn't know where you were even wanting to look. It was a mess. The camera was absolutely terrible in my opinion. When it worked, it was just passable. It's not like the camera ever did this game any favors, even when it was working perfectly. It was still just, damn, I wish I could lock on and attack where I want to. So that is easily the worst part of Ghost of Tsushima. That camera, I cannot overstate just how frustrating that camera can be. Now, plugging Ghost of Tsushima into the moist meter, I'm giving this bad boy an 85%. This game is extremely fun, the combat never got dull, and the narrative is so fucking good. I really liked it. I liked the story a lot, and I absolutely love the game world in here. The universe in here was fucking fantastic, and I really just enjoyed my time with it start to finish. An extremely good game that I would highly recommend. So, yeah, that's really about it. See ya. There's a massive storm going on here right now, so you might hear thunder in the background, and I know the cause for this storm is because the weather is angry knowing that someone in this city isn't using Manscaped tonight. Manscaped is your go-to source for all grooming needs. You already know about their Perfect Package Kit, which comes with a lawnmower, a fine tool that gives you the cleanest shave on your nutsack and everywhere in between with minimal risk of injury. By far the best that I've used in that area, but it's more than just ball shaving devices and just general downstairs grooming. They also have things like the Shears 2.0, which is a luxury 4-piece nail kit. They also have the Weed Whacker for ear and nose hair. It just has so many things that you definitely need to look and feel your best as a big, strong man. So if you're interested in trying Manscaped products, you can use code MOIST at manscaped.com to get 20% off and free shipping. Code MOIST at manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping. That's it. See ya.